What happens when some beauty enters the classroom, ready to break the rules? And how long can the old teacher control his emotions when a student starts giving him special attention? Let's find out. This is the story of a young student who fell in love with an old teacher and is ready to be with him privately. The film begins with Joseph Svenden, a middle-aged schoolteacher. As a child, an injury left him limping and reliant on a cane. He lives on a farm with his elderly mother and handles the daily household chores. At school, he informs his students that the school may close soon. During this announcement, an 18-year-old new student named Catherine Wheeler walks into the class. "Who might you be?" "Catherine Wheeler," she replies.
Possibility of the school closing at the end of this semester. Who might you be?
Catherine Wheeler.
Before moving forward, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. It will help us keep bringing your favorite movie recaps. A boy takes off his cap and makes his hairs immediately to make Catherine notices him, not knowing she would be more interested in old professor. After work, Joseph talks about the school's closure with Rosalie, a widow he has been helping and plans to marry. The next morning, Nathan Wheeler, a retired major and Catherine's father, visits Joseph's farm. He wants to board Catherine's horse at Joseph's stable and offers to pay $175 a month. Joseph agrees without hesitation.
Major Nathan Wheeler, U.S. Army retired. Also, I was wondering if I could talk you maybe into boarding Catherine's horse. I could pay you, say, $175 a month.
That sounds, just fine, Major.
After this, Catherine takes a horse ride and get back to stable. She tells Joseph that her father would pay him $200 if he negotiated. Joseph replied he no. Then Catherine asked when she can visit the stables, and Joseph, looking at her, replied whenever she wants. Later, Joseph drives back Catherine and tells her it's his last year as a teacher. She asks what else he plans to do, but Joseph has no answer. She promises to figure it out.
What are you gonna do next year?
I don't know.
You know that you're good at, like, teaching and farming, right?
No.
At that moment, Catherine starts having inappropriate thoughts. Later, after Joseph had some hunting for dinner, he gets back home, where Dr. Evans visits Joseph's mother to deliver her medicine, who is suffering with cancer. Doctor tells Joseph her condition will worsen and that she has only a few months left. He suggests it would be better for her to stay in the hospital.
It'll get worse. Well, maybe half a year.
The next day, after work, Joseph goes to the stable and finds Catherine laying down, waiting silently in the loft. "You knew I was here," she says. "You're right," he replies. He joins her, and she subtly hints at her feelings, trying to catch his attention with some body moves. Joseph immediately walks away, determined to stay true to his principles. However, after reflecting on his monotonous life, he decides a bit of excitement might not hurt. He returns, and they share a moment of closeness, which carries Nathan away. A few days later, the school board tells Joseph he can't teach in city schools because he hasn't completed his professional development courses. Unbothered, Joseph dismisses them, gives them a piece of his mind, and goes home. Later, Rosalie asks Joseph it's time to get married while laying together on bed. But the professor has some other naughty plans with Catherine. Next day, Dr. Evans visits Joseph and mentions that Major Wheeler, another hunting enthusiast, spotted a coyote nearby. Evans, feeling too old to hunt, gifts Joseph his hunting rifle. Yaspe get back to stable where Catherine is waiting for him, laying on horseback. They both share a moment of closeness passionately. Joseph's happiness has no limits after with a young girl at this age. But his happiness gets faded when his mother asks him to marry Rosalie and take her to honeymoon. Poor professor. Later during a lesson, Joseph assigns his students to write essays. Catherine uses the chance to write a note asking to meet him because she has something important to share. Later, while driving, Joseph confronts Catherine about leaving such a vague note, worried that someone might discover their relationship. At first, he thinks she might be pregnant, but Catherine denies it, saying, "I'm not in a mood." Then, she jokes about being pregnant, shocking Joseph. He panics, unsure how to handle the news or explain it to others. Thankfully, Catherine reveals it's just a joke. She isn't pregnant. Later, Yaspe is shopping with his second boat, Rosalie, and later went on hunting with Wheeler. One morning, Catherine gives Joseph a bottle of 20-year-old bourbon as a gift and wanted to have a moment of happiness, but Joseph ignores her by asking about her mother. Catherine avoids talking about her past, especially her mother's struggles, and shifts the focus back to Joseph. Later, Dr. Evans unexpectedly walks into the stable and finds them together. Afterward, Joseph meets Evans at a cafe. Shocked by what he saw, Evans asks how long it has been going on. Joseph confesses everything, and Evans warns him to end it or face serious problems. Evans also reminds him about Rosalie, who is waiting for him to propose.
Listen, maybe you want some trouble. You're sure as hell gonna get it. Rosalie looks happy enough.
At the school party, Rosalie invites Joseph to her home to spend time together in bed, but he refuses. Hurt by his rejection, Rosalie leaves. When Joseph returns home, his mother confronts him about his relationship with Catherine and asks how long it will continue. Before Joseph can answer, his mother falls ill, giving him an excuse to avoid the conversation. Her words, however, make Joseph reflect on his actions. He gathers the courage to go to Rosalie and apologize. He explains that he refused her last time because his mother needed help, but Rosalie doubts his explanation. Joseph then shares his deeper feelings, admitting that people his age often realize they haven't pursued what they truly want. He reveals his dream of visiting a quiet ocean shore to relax and fish in peace. Finally, he admits he wishes to share a tender moment with her in the daylight. Rosalie feels disappointed at first, but after thinking it over, she gives in to her feelings and fulfills Joseph's wish.
Rosalie.
Joseph's mother dies, and after the funeral, Rosalie goes through the condolence cards. She finds a note from Catherine and discovers that Joseph has been unfaithful. Furious, she confronts him outside and accuses him of cheating. Joseph tries to justify himself, claiming Catherine was just a fling and that Rosalie means much more to him. Rosalie, unconvinced, pushes him away and leaves.
We are better. She's just a silly kid.
I hope you die!
Rosalie!
That evening, Catherine visits Joseph. She knows what happened and tells him she wants to get married. Joseph refuses and ends their relationship. Catherine warns him he'll regret it. The next day, Joseph learns that Catherine's father, Nathan, knows everything and won't let it slide. That night, Joseph grabs the hunting rifle he received as a gift and waits for Nathan. When Nathan arrives with his wife, he says he just wants to talk. He asks Joseph if he plans to marry Catherine, but Joseph coldly replies that he doubts he's her type. Nathan concludes that Joseph is a decent man and not entirely at fault. He believes Catherine shares the blame. However, Nathan's wife disagrees. She slaps Joseph and accuses him of taking advantage of Catherine. Nathan chooses not to escalate the situation and suggests they part ways peacefully. After they leave, Catherine returns and asks Joseph if he will marry her. Joseph responds that their relationship was just a brief fling and that they have no future together. He's too old, and she's too young to know what she truly wants. Catherine kisses him and confesses she's done something bad. When Joseph asks what she means, she points outside. Joseph steps out and sees the barn on fire. He rushes to save the cow, but tragically loses Catherine's horse in the flames. The next day, Joseph decides to turn his life around. He reconciles with Rosalie, confessing that he loves only her. She forgives him. Together, they visit the ocean and decide to spend the rest of their lives there. And the movie concludes here. If you enjoy this story, please don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and share your thoughts about the movie in the comments. See you soon!